Well, let's turn back to the lockdown files, as the Telegraph is calling them, all those leaked WhatsApp messages and the inquiry, of course, into the handling of the COVID-19 pandemic and what the government was doing behind the scenes. Well, let's speak now to Charles Persinger, whose wife Katie was a UK care home manager who actually died from COVID back in 2021. Thank you very much indeed for joining us, Charles, and I expect you, like many others directly affected, will be combing through these messages, scratching your head about how the government was, well, trying to cope or failing, perhaps, as you may have assessed in tackling COVID.
Yeah, as bereaved families, we've definitely recognised the failure. It hasn't come as a surprise, if I'm completely honest with you. I think it's something people expected. It's just unfortunate it had to be leaked via the media as opposed to through the inquest itself, where it would have been a more appropriate way for that sort of thing to break.
OK, what do you make then of Isabel Oakeshott, that the journalist concerned, saying, look, this really is a public interest, and quite clearly it is for you and all the other families, and it needed to get out as quickly as possible, bearing in mind that public inquiry could take some time to report?
Yeah, no, I agree. It is in public interest. My concerns, and I think, is the way the information was leaked. I mean, it would have been far better if it had come out through official forms and maybe gone through our lawyers and stuff beforehand, and we could have been prepared to hear this, as opposed to having to see it revealed in the media. You know, it's rather disturbing and traumatic for our bereaved families.
And of course, the question as to whether you're getting the full picture, I guess, as a result of that.
Well, it's been a long time, you know. That's part of the inquest, and why we've been fighting for it for the last 2 years, is to get some truth and accountability from the government. It's the very least those left behind deserve, and our loved ones. Really.
Yeah, and obviously to see if things could have been done better, and the issue, of course, as to whether, therefore, things could be better next time round if, God forbid, we get another pandemic of some kind.
Well, you know, the chances are fairly high. Pandemics were always a thing that I think government were aware of the risks initially, and failed to act accordingly. I'm hoping the inquest will teach the people who need to learn the lessons they need. I hope they're going to prioritise healthcare and the well-being of the country, you know, over personal self-interest.
What do you make of that assertion that was made originally about this protective ring being thrown around the care homes, which, of course, directly affects your experience? It may indicate, from what we've learned, that, you know, this was perhaps piecemeal at best.
Well, yeah, it was completely haphazard, wasn't it? I mean, we now all, I think everyone's starting to understand what we understood in the early days. You know, it didn't take me long to realise when my wife and mother had died, there was no protective ring around care homes.
No.
I'm glad it's finally coming to light. I just hope we do learn lessons. I hope the inquest highlights the truth, so we can do better next time.
I'm going to leave the most difficult question to last for you, Charles. How are you doing?
You know, it's hard. It's been a 2-year fight. I've not stopped campaigning for the last 2 years. If it wasn't for me and a few friends from COVID bereaved families for justice, we wouldn't have had an inquest in the first place. You know, we fought 2 years for this inquest. We're core participants because of that, representing over 6,000 families in the United Kingdom. Obviously, you know, we're out there to support people. We're going to keep fighting for accountability and justice. I think it's important for the future of this country.
And that shared experience has brought you all together?
Our shared experiences is where the truth lies. I think our voices and our stories should be heard. They must be heard. Anything short of that won't do the inquest the service it deserves.